So I'm here having breakfast. I don't know. I'm, I'm always looking for a place that's quiet. Straw was under my hand. Now you can read my palm. I wanted to talk about last night's Oscars. Um, Obviously, things didn't go my way. I lost $25. I bet on uh, Delroy Lindo, Hamnet, and what the heck was the other thing? I put the other $5 on. I can't remember now. I remember thinking I put the other $5 on Amy Madigan. I didn't. I put the other $5 on I Lied to You, the song. I guess things kind of went according to the predictions that people do, which is sad because sometimes they go that way because those were the predictions. Like Oscar voters did what they were told they were supposed to do. Give me a second. I'm actually mad now because there were so many movies better than One Battle After Another. Um, I decided I think I'm gonna make that was hot a letterbox list of movies that are better than One Battle After Another. The 2025 movies because there were a lot, and a lot of them shouldn't have been nominated for anything either. But it was a mediocre movie. It didn't make sense. What's great about it is Leonardo and Benicio. Neither of them won, and I watched it 3 times waiting for it to get better because Benicio is my favorite living actor, and um, that In Memoriam, by the way, Val Kilmer's my favorite actor, right? That In Memoriam was really shitty and cheap looking. And then the parts where they singled out certain people, and if you're going to do that, the only out of the whole group, Robert Redford was obviously the biggest influence. So if they wanted to have a whole tribute to Robert Redford separate from the In Memoriam, that would have made sense. But the Rob Reiner thing, that was because of how he died. I like Rob Reiner's movies. Spinal Tap, the sequel, that was on my list of best pictures of the year. Not theirs, but mine. Um, so, but the fact is, the shows get worse and worse. The awards get worse and worse to some degree. I mean, this year there were decent movies, you know. And Paul Thomas Anderson, Magnolia is my favorite. That and Boogie Nights are masterpieces. Phantom Thread was great. Um, loved Inherent Vice. The Master was good for what it is. I'm not really the more. I mean, that's specifically not emotional. You know what I mean? But I didn't like There Will Be Blood. I wasn't a fan of that. But if that was a makeup Oscar, it really shouldn't. They should have given him another chance because Licorice Pizza was garbage. So I don't know if he's starting to suck in his old age. But yeah, I said things about that movie before. Anyway, happy for Amy Madigan. I'm really pissed about Delroy Lindo though, because Sean Penn, like I said, I'm really arguing with people on the internet because there's no way that's good acting, and Sean Penn knows it, and anybody worth their salt knows it. So how did people vote for that? People voted for that because they dislike characters that they think are like that, but no human being is like that character. Um, it's a caricature of what people want to believe about people who are on a different political side than them. And I don't care about sides. And I don't care if you want to dislike somebody, but that you don't award. I mean, that was a joke performance on purpose. He was making fun of the character from within the character. I'm not an actor, but what you're supposed to do, whether you play Hitler or the worst person in the world, you're supposed to be able to find compassion for that character because you're the character. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be that person. So him doing a mockery of a person who doesn't exist and then getting awarded for it means that's not what acting's supposed to be at all. Um, and he's done amazing performances and he's been rewarded probably for the wrong ones. I mean, my favorite performance of Sean Penn is from Carlito's Way, Kleinfeld, right? Um, but again, I like the ones where people you can suspend belief that that's an actor you've seen a million times. You know, that was Sean Penn like doing a bad Saturday Night Live sketch, which you know that's that family. Um, but I gotta think again. People were talking about how that Ludwig Göransson already has more Oscars than Hans Zimmer, which is insane. Number one. Number two, this is I think the Academy's going completely off the deep end now with the new people they put in because they didn't I don't think they were that selective with who they put in. So now you're getting people who will probably nominate a Tubi movie because they liked it, because there was that funny thing in it that was so awesome, but they're not students of film or they're not film buffs, so they haven't had the, because when you argue with people on film Twitter and you know they're like 22 years old and they haven't seen anything, you don't want to really argue with them because you know A, they don't know yet, B, they haven't watched that much. You know what I mean? There were people telling me that was like the best. People I was arguing about Sean Penn were telling me that was the best of his acting performances. I'm like, okay, you just told me you haven't seen any. You've probably seen some from. You're probably saying it's better than what was it, Mystic River? What the hell was the name of that movie? That was decent, but again, that wasn't one of his best performances. I'm going back to Falcon and the Snowman. I'm going all the way back. I'm old. You know, I watched him since Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High is a better performance. Spicoli is better than, all these things. I don't know if you can hear me, but I try. There's nowhere where there's no noise. I figured this was quieter with the music and stuff, and we'll see what happens. Yesterday, I stupidly went into Boston, thinking on it's Oscar Day, I'll go, I'll see, because I saw Surratt was at a time I could see it, I'll go see that. Not realizing it's the Sunday before St. Patrick's Day, and therefore it's the St. Patrick's Day parade. Oh my God, nightmare scenario. I should tell that in another video. But I did see Surratt yesterday. I didn't know what I was sitting there for not even most of it, like the first half hour going, why is this great? I mean, I like dancing to, the soundtracks in movies. When there's a beat, I will sit in my seat and, bop along. But it ended up being pretty awesome. Was Surratt better than One Battle After Another? You better believe it. Is it my favorite movie? No. But, you know, I don't know what to do with people anymore. And that after Sergio Lopez, I know him from something. I don't know what though. When we get old, I mean, I don't look that different, but I'll always look different. People are talking. The ceremony itself, look, I don't know what the deal was. There was something wrong with whoever's producing it. The degree to which they were playing off people, it was like the orchestra guy was hyper or deaf, because the next person started to talk and they were playing right over them like the bad old days, and I thought we knew not to do that anymore. It was really disgusting. And then when the actors were going up and doing their banter, it was awful. I mean, it looked like they couldn't read their lines. Like, if these are actors, they're supposed to memorize their lines, but for award shows and stuff like that, sometimes they change them or whatever, so they read the teleprompter, right? It looked like the teleprompter was skipping on them or something, because you had seasoned actors tripping over the words, and it was consistent throughout the night. Conan's great. Hold on. The best segment there was Conan and Sterling K. Brown, and it was true and it was funny about how they want people to make movies, so they keep explaining and reminding that, I'm sorry, do not make movies like that. It won't be good, and I will hate you for it. We don't care if they hate me. I mean, what? Nobody cares if I hate them, but I'm saying the producers are idiots. Or Netflix or whoever's doing that. And if it's Netflix, who cares? Because that's not movies, that's content. But the funniest joke for me was the sequel to F1 is going to be Caps Lock. That was such a Okay, I'm gonna run out of things soon. That was such a nerd joke. I loved it. I'm gonna stop this video and maybe talk about stuff later on because I'm running out of space. But yeah, the evening was pretty horrible. Delroy should have won. I was very upset by that. I wanted him to win. He was the one I was rooting for all season. I thought Hamnet should win. I thought it could win. I did realize because I looked it up. I didn't realize BAFTA had awarded it until I looked, or had not awarded it